ticket to anywhere. And a glazed donut. To go. LeBrain Train. LeBrain Train. All aboard. Coffee time. LeBrain Train time. Yes, tonight's a special night. We have Max the Axe, all the way from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, here with us tonight. Max the Axe, Dr. Dave, Uncle Meat, the whole gang. The whole gang. No hijacker tonight, Chris Sarr. But before we get started with Max, we're going to do just a little unpackaging here. And may as well bring on my good old pal from Australia, Mr. Harrison, for this unpackaging because it's a band that he likes. So why don't we bring on Mr. Harrison? Oh, good evening, sir. How are you? You're muted. Hang on, I'll unmute you. You are unmuted.
Okay, how much of that did you hear?
None.
I am good, thank you. And you?
Oh, very well, thanks. Any guesses as to what's in the package?
Well, it could be Sabbath, Maiden, Blaze, Rainbow, Yellow. Warmer.
What's warmer than Rainbow? Keep going. Well, I'll tell you. And it's also something related to your homeland.
Oh?
Oh, shit. No, it's not. I thought it was the Live in Australia one, but no, it's not. It's the latest of these Deep Purples. London, England, yes. 2002. Now, what is special about this? This was historic and previously unreleased live recording by the celebrated Mark VII lineup for the very first time on CD. So, I don't know. Very first time on CD. That's vague. And they got it right this time again by putting the limited numbered edition on the back of the CD. Remember, we had this discussion a long time ago about, in fact, I have both of the other ones. I think I'm caught up in this series. Maybe a viewer.
I think you are as well.
There's, this is the Australia one, Newcastle.
Yeah, I've got that one.
And then there's this stupid one from Italy where they put the limited thing on a sticker on the outer wrapper, which I have to keep because then I don't have the limited edition sticker, which what's the point of buying it if you don't get the limited edition number?
Yeah. That new one you just got, is that the same show that's that DVD that is John Lord's last show?
I believe that is, I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I have the DVD somewhere here. It might have the date on it. I know yours has the date on it. Let me just...
That's what it means then when it says very first time on CD, is that it's already
14th of September 2002 is when this was recorded.
Okay, this is actually February 22nd, so it's way earlier.
Okay, so it's a different show then. Yeah. But I've got this, so I've got my 2002.
It is
Deep
Lord,
Purple
that's
recording.
for sure. Well, that's cool.
Probably earlier in the tour.
Yeah. Chris Sarr being a smart ass here.
What's new?
What's new? I have a show idea I want to discuss with you.
Yes.
So this is fun for the viewers. They get to see this kind of happening as it happens. I have a friend in radio, and I've known her for a long time, and she is very, very much into metal. Seen every festival over in Europe, that kind of thing. But anyway, she's available for a half-hour interview. So I thought that would be cool to have her on for like half a show, do an interview. And then I was wondering, what do we do for the other half of the show? And I wanted to throw that at you, and maybe we can come up with a cool show that we could do where we do the interview for half an hour and then we do our own thing for the other half hour.
Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record again. But Alice Cooper deep cuts is one that I've been wanting to do for a while.
Actually, that's appropriate because this friend of mine just did the Alice Cooper, Essential Alice Cooper on her program. So we can segue.
Nice, yeah. And we had numbers problems, I think, trying to get like a full show dedicated to it. So having it just sit on the tail end of an interview would be a better place for it.
That might be. I shall ask her when she's available. Now, the only hitch is because she's in radio, she might not be available on a Friday night. But I'll ask. We'll see what we can work out.
My availability at the moment is wide open because uni just finished for the semester.
Viewer question here, and actually serious question.
Okay.
Have you heard, is my hometown famous in Australia yet? Because this just happened down the street. The next set of lights down the street, this just happened. Has it hit Australia yet?
I don't think so. I think I might have seen like a comment of yours talking to someone else peripherally on Facebook that might have alluded to something. But
there's about 40 protesters down the street at the next set of lights because of this restaurant down the street that is in the news. So, folks, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I don't want to get into it on the show, but just Google Milton's in Kitchener, Ontario, and you'll be up to speed. And that's like literally down the street, happening now. So, welcome to Fame Town. I imagine it'll hit Australia in not too much time, honestly. But otherwise, how are you? Before we greet our guests, how are you for this evening? Are you psyched?
Well, I'm usually my resting face is my sort of default. I'm not exactly the most excitable person, but yes, it is going to be interesting. I'm sure.
I know
from your experience.
Well, we were both fans of Max the Axe, and you've never spoken to Dr. Dave before.
No,
you've never spoken to Max before.
We have had conversations on Facebook briefly,
right? But never this way. Never this way.
Yeah,
and of course, Meat quite well at this point.
Oh yes.
So I think as far as we're concerned, we know what we're going to be asking about. We've got some viewer questions, I'm sure, that'll be coming up. I have some fan questions that I'm going to play as well. But as far as the new music goes, how would you compare this EP, Oktoberfest Cheer, to Status Electric?
I don't really compare EPs to albums. I find it a difficult task, even though I do rate out of 5, I keep the EP scale and the album scale separate. So like a 5 out of 5 for an EP is not the same as a 5 out of 5 for an album. So I don't really compare them, but it's more of the same excellent quality, top tier stuff that that started with Status Electric.
There she is, right there.
My hard drive's out of reach.
And that's what the CD itself looks like. But, all these graphics are available on, I think, both our reviews and every other review that hit the blogosphere about a month ago when we just bombarded the world with Max the Axe reviews, which he's very grateful, I know. And, the one track on here that's controversial is the title track. And I know we'll be discussing that controversy this evening. You're a fan of the title track?
Oh, yeah. I like it. I think the EP starts off on the low note, and I use low note in quotations, and then I think the last two are definitely the better chunk of it. Yeah.
I don't know if I agree. But, I'm also coming up. Can you actually purchase it? Hell yeah, man. I still have, I've been holding on to one copy. Get in touch with me. I'll get it to you. Actually, it'd be, what, Chris, that's a funny thing. It'd be the first time you and I have met face to face in over 30 years. Isn't that funny? Yeah, I'll get you a copy. Where was I? Yeah, I've been kind of living with these tracks kind of in a different light than other people, because I've been doing all these music videos for these tracks, and we're going to play them all tonight, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's kind of like you just kind of get to know certain beats of the song a little bit better, because I'm trying to sync up certain sections of songs to certain, you know, cuts in the video, certain edits. And there's just certain moments, you know, like, for example, on Thirsty and Miserable, I just love that brief little, yeah. And you know the part I'm talking about. Yeah. I love that.
You're like a little Edgar Wright.
And I love Meat's just his intonation and his the way he sings Oktoberfest Cheer itself, even though he doesn't particularly care for the song. Might be getting ahead of ourselves here.
And you and I have got to know it a bit better, and possibly others, because we had the honor of hearing the rough mixes.
Yes, over a year ago. It was October of 2020. Yeah. And we've been waiting a long time. And actually, they've been waiting a long time, because they're sitting in the waiting room now. Are you ready to go, gentlemen? Are you ready to go? Yeah, thumbs up. All right.
Don't forget the banner.
Thank you.
I had one job.
I almost remembered the banner. Please, welcome to the show, Dave, Meat, and Max.
The LeBrain Train is proud to present Max, Uncle Meat, and Dr. Douchebag of Max the Axe.
Use of the phrase douchebag does not necessarily represent the views of T-Bone, his channel, or its affiliates. T-Bone does not claim to know the doctor and therefore has no reason to believe he is in fact an actual douchebag.
Hey guys. So your audio is totally fucked. You sound like chipmunks. Is it just me, or are they sounding like chipmunks to you?
I'm hearing chipmunks.
Okay, you guys, there's something screwy with your audio that we tested out an hour ago. You sound like chipmunks. I've never, Harrison, we've been doing this for close to 2 years, and I've never seen that before. Have you?
No.
Fucking, that was a great intro. All right, let's try this again.
The LeBrain Train is proud to present Max, Uncle Meat, and Dr. Douchebag of Max the Axe.
Use of the phrase douchebag does not necessarily represent the views of T-Bone, his channel, or its affiliates. T-Bone does not claim to know the doctor and therefore has no reason to believe he is in fact an actual douchebag.
Hello!
Hey there!
Yeah, finally! How are you guys? You're frozen is what you are. You're all frozen. Oh, shit. We can't catch a break tonight with these guys.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, there they go. 'Cause that's the last time I'm running that freaking intro. How are you guys tonight?
He is not an actual douchebag, but he is an actual doctor. I play one on TV though. It's just
you know what? You know what? Uncle Meat, that actually leads perfectly into the questions that I wanted to ask first, which are actually fan questions.
Okay, that's fine.
And just because, you know, for some fans, this is the first time they're seeing Max in person and with new beard. Some of them have heard the legend of Max, but have never actually seen him on a show before. And this is Dave's first appearance on the show.
Yeah.
So we may as well run these fan questions. We'll just get these out of the way real quick.
Hey,
holy shit, it's all 4 of them. Hey, Jeff, do you have a question for Max the Axe?
Oh yeah, I want to know if Dr. Dave is actually a doctor, because I've heard he's a doctor in advance.
Hey, LeBrain Train, it's T-Bone here with some viewer questions for our esteemed guests, Max the Axe. First question is for Dr. Dave. Dr. Dave, what specialty is it that makes you a doctor? Second question for Uncle Meat. Uncle Meat, where does Uncle Meat come from as a nickname, or Meat for that matter? I do not know. I've gotten to speak to you a number of times, but I don't know the answer to that question. And last but definitely not least, Max, or should I say Mike. Where does the nickname Max or Max the Axe come from? Is Max the Axe the band name and you took on the persona of Max? Or is the band named after you? Those are my viewer questions. Thank you very much for taking them. Cheers to Max the Axe, and long live the LeBrain Train. Thank you.
Look at that size of that gross, man.
This is bigger than Max's head.
It's slightly
So
bigger.
So start with Dave. Start with Dave. What are you a doctor of?
Well, that's his fourth of these. No. This is his fourth of these. Fake news. I'm kidding. I have a PhD. I don't insist that people call me a doctor because I don't do colonoscopies or anything like that. I specialize in American literature, 19th century American literature. Moby Dick is my jam.
And there's a lot here in this library if you can scan around.
Yes, I've noticed that. Okay, so and then we've had this question before, but some people don't know the story.
I will quickly say it. In college in 1991, I came there after I was a huge Letterman fan. He said to Paul Schaefer the night before, "This Christmas, I'm giving the gift of meat." Oh, yes. I turned around to say it for weeks, and a friend of the channel, Gary Molinar, who is the drummer for most of the stuff that you've seen me play on, he started calling me meat. And then, very funny, within a couple of weeks, he got the nickname Shit. So there you go.
You got the better end of that deal.
Oh, I certainly did. Yeah.
And finally, Max the Axe. Where does that name come from?
Well, it was Max Mustang because I played 266 Fender Mustangs. One was a black and all hot rodded out with pickups and shit. The other one was a stock 66 with like the Nervous Rex cover with pearl and red. But anyway, and then there was the Bring Your Own Knife party in Oakville.
Always Oakville.
And I brought out the axe and I started, chopping on stuff, and they call me Max the Axe after that.
That's cool. What is a Bring Your Own Knife party?
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
It was the rough part of Oakville.
Yeah, apparently. Well, anyway, so now that we've gotten to know you a little bit, let's talk about the new fucking Oktoberfest Cheer.
Is it new?
What's that?
It's weird to say it's new. Wait. I did those drum tracks in May of 2019. First, say hi to the fourth member.
The fourth member of Max the Axe.
Mitch.
Mitch himself.
Mitch Mitchell.
I've met him.
Okay, what's the question?
So you've been talking about how you wanted to tell this story all day. You want to talk about how this album came to be. So
okay,
start.
We'll try Inception.
And Harrison, do you want to jump in here? Do you have any specific questions? Do you want to start with an Oktoberfest Cheer specific question?
Start from Inception.
Yeah, best to do that.
Incept us.
Stand back. I'm glad you're over there.
That's not a verb. It's totally not a verb.
Well, tell us.
Yeah, man.
Tell us when did the first chord I was waiting for the
Inception.
The first chord of the first thing that you wrote.
I'll tell you.
No.
All right, he'll tell you.
Tell me, for fuck's sake.
Okay, so 2019, we're thinking we're going to record something else because Status Electric just came out in late 2018.
And was great.
And we started thinking about that. So in early 2020, I buy the tape just to get the ball rolling, right, Mitch?
Right.
I buy the tape, and then we put the hole in the wall, so you can. Is that a screw or a slide window that we put?
We can run the cables through the hole in the wall. You see?
Wow.
From to my tape machine.
And how much do you spend on cords?
I spent about. You see, the pandemic come, and I had nothing better to do, so I set up my tape machine, and then we punch a hole in the wall, and then we said, okay, well, let's pick 3, and we'll do them over here on the tape machine, and that's what we did. We just let's record some songs, you know.
Yeah, they're in the fridge.
So when is there going to be a track called "Hole in the Wall"?
No, I don't think.
Hole in the wall.
Hey,
No, bad Black Sabbath.
Okay, so
If we're taking questions, not a suggestion.
So just to be clear, I don't need to know the "This Old House" portion of the story. You know, digging the holes in the walls. We just want to know about the tunes.
Okay, so
Like, I don't need to know about your kitchen reno
His
or
fault.
your bathroom improvements, or I don't know. Did you retile in the
Well, that's
in
a
the
very
garage?
important part of the story. you see.
Okay.
Oh, it is.
We
Well, then I
decided-
apologize for being rude.
Mitch suggested that we don't go back to another digital studio, and we
Fuck
did-
those guys. They fuck everything up.
And
They
we
suck, man.
and we just go back to analog, and we have our own 1-inch tape machine. Mitch owns it,
And it sounds better, eh?
so analog is pretty cool.
Analog.
For us.
And we got no asshole telling us to turn it down or to play it different or none of that fucking crap.
All right.
You know, we do it our way. We play it in the room. We knock it out.
Okay.
We get her on tape. Away she goes.
Okay, that's very true.
Okay, so just for the viewers at home, if you've seen the movie This Is Spinal Tap, this might all seem familiar to you.
Okay,
I'm
so
really
from there,
right.
we decided to take some static for people on Facebook because there's more than 5 people in that room at the same time because we posted
During the
pictures,
pandemic,
right,
yeah.
of us recording during this pandemic, right? Well, this is just like what, April, May. We put down the drums in May.
2019. Wasn't it?
No, 2020.
Sounds like it was 2020, Dr.
May,
Dave.
pandemic time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. The whole thing was in the shadow of COVID. Even putting the discs together was a hassle.
Yeah, so we decided, like, what are we gonna do next? We got great success. We're riding on all your reviews and stuff from Status Electric, Mike, and
This guy, Harrison.
yeah, and everyone, James
Yeah.
C. Snow, et cetera. And then we decided to do something else. Of course, we're gonna keep going. So the first song, Mitch goes, "What do you want to record?" I go, "Well, this song is so old, someone's gonna steal it. Let's go with Oktoberfest Cheer." So that's our first song. So
Really?
yeah,
So this is in like April, and you were coming up with Oktoberfest Cheer.
yeah, because we thought it was another year after that. That's for sure.
Right.
That we got that out.
Yeah. But it was popular.
Back then?
No, I mean when you finally did put it out. You guys we had a lot of great comments on that track.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about the reviews later too.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Very.
So that was the first track that you wrote?
No, that's the first track we decided to do. And how do we do it?
No,
Mitch?
the first one we recorded. BC Mike was drunk all the time, so don't listen to him. The first one we recorded was what's that one? I gotta get around. What's that one called?
Pygmy Blow Dart.
Pygmy Blow Dart. That was the first one we recorded.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't listen to Mike. He's
Well, we put in the vocals last.
Sure.
So
But,
that's,
first song we did.
That's true.
that's true.
but did
Anyway,
you know? Sorry,
the
keep going.
song is 1.5 times faster than what I laid it down for Mitch.
Yeah, because I get bored playing slow, you see, and so that's the way it's going to be.
And so I go, "You want a punk rock album? Okay, throw Thirsty and Miserable on there."
Yes.
And we'll put our new song, Pygmy Blow Dart, which I hope no one finds racist. Number 1, and then we'll slide down 1 to 3.
See, the weird thing to me,
Take questions on those parts.
we call it a punky beat. there really is not much punk about Pygmy Blow Dart. I wouldn't necessarily call that a punk
Well,
song.
I gave Eric the outline, and he sings the same verse 3 times. I mean, just mess it up a bit or something. I give you the outline.
That's because you wrote it 3 times.
Yeah. I thought there'd be a little ingenuity there.
What?
I listened well though.
Listen, hey, talking
Again,
to you
that's
as the critic and the fan, that song is perfect. Like it's sure it's
Because it sings the same
he's
verse
just got to get
3 times.
around, yeah. But you know,
That
it
song
kinda,
kicks, man. That's
but
a
you know,
that's a good
okay.
song.
I'm just going to pontificate here for a moment,
Floor on the
if
floor,
you
rock
will.
and roll.
I'm going to pontificate on my opinion on Pygmy Blow Dart for just a moment. The lead character in the song is just trying to score some dope. So he's got to get around. He's just got to find a way to get around, you know.
Well, one of
And
those
he's a pothead, so he's not thinking about much else. But the way Meat sings it, you know, it's not like every single time he sings it, it's the same. It's different each time he sings it. His inflections are different. And to me, that song is perfect. Harrison, do you have any...
He noticed. You said that.
Do you agree, Harrison?
He noticed. He agrees.
Yes, it is a good song, and I don't think that just because a song repeats itself over and over does make it a bad one. Like Iron Maiden plays Iron Maiden,
Bailey,
and that's the same thing over and over again. You know,
So
and they still play it every show.
Anyway, that's just the critic's opinion. So Pygmy came up first, and like Meat said, it's not particularly a punk song, but the next 2 tracks are absolutely that punk nature.
This is the first time we ever put a cover on.
Right. Yeah.
Thirsty and Miserable was an idea that
1981
that
SST
Mitch
record.
had. He played us the
Lemmy
version, and then we realized just it's pretty easy to play, so we just played it enough to make it kick ass. And that was like the beginning of the punk feeling of
You know what? When he came up with that, the first time he played that, I go, that sounds so familiar. It's like I've been playing that song all my life.
I love the fuzz bass that opens it.
Yep.
But kudos especially to the Meat Man for kicking that one. You really grabbed that one by the balls. So kudos to the Meat Man on that one.
You know, it's not a particular hard thing to sing, whatever. To be honest, at times I wish I would have pumped it up a little bit more, but I'm a bad self-critic. So
yes, you are.
Yeah.
Dr. Dave, what's your feeling on Thirsty and Miserable?
I took to it like falling out of a bus onto the highway. It's really, hey, wait, where did you go? Oh, okay, there you are.
Fine.
I was trying to fix my resolution.
It's great. It's great. I always did like Black Flag, and Lemmy does a kick-ass version, so it's easy to play and it's fun to play, and that's a good combination.
It's been very well received by those who have heard it. I'll tell you that much.
And let me add, it is true. It is how we feel. Like it's true.
You're not
We
thirsty.
are alcoholics.
You're not thirsty. You're drinking right now.
Who said it was a concept album about getting high?
I did.
Because that's right.
No, the concept of about inebriation. There was
Inebriation.
Somebody said that in the review.
I did. And maybe Harrison did too. I don't know.
I don't think so.
It might have been JT Snow. I think it was JT Snow.
It might have been JT. Yeah, it might have been Snow.
Yeah.
Oh, I did want to tell you one anecdote. Pygmy Blow Dart. As mentioned earlier, it's about a guy going downtown to score some dope, right?
Okay.
But what made me laugh about that song is, it's a cool lyric and everything. But I think in 2021, what you do is you make a music video of Pygmy Blow Dart, and the guy's going downtown to score some dope, and it's just him standing in line at the weed store for like 15 minutes waiting for his turn. And then you gotta get around. He's just waiting in that line. Because that's what it is now. That's all it is.
Yeah, the weed store is different.
Okay, so it's a classic for all time.
Yes, but a classic of a time that is no longer.
The reference to Josh Homme about those riffs.
I thought that song was very Queens in a very positive way, very Queens.
Well, I can honestly tell you this: that when I first started singing that song, I said it out loud to everyone in the room that I was going to Josh Hollman at the beginning, and then gradually not.
Well,
Josh
back
Hollman.
then I
That
didn't
was the
know
whole
what
point.
it was. That was a year and a half ago. I don't know who he is a year and a half ago.
That some people actually caught on that, and I would not have expected that they would.
That whole thing started when I'm playing the drums without cymbals, and it's like a it's very there's a fruit fly in here. It's a very Alfredo Hernandez kind of thing from And Circus Leaves Town or the first Queens of the Stone Age. That's what I was thinking at that part, and he picked up on it immediately because he loves that first Queens album.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
You know, that's true. That's true. I think I even said to Dave at one point, that he inspired me to think of it as a Queens of the Stone Age kind of thing. So that's true.
Okay, but I'd like to remind the audience that this song was written in 1983, 20 years before the band.
Max, how old? No, don't tell us how old you were. 1983. What were you doing in 1983?
40 years, by the way.
That's 40 years ago, and now you're telling me it sounds like something hip? Come on.
Well, it means that you were onto something back then, but it also means that the modern. I'm sure it has evolved since 1983.
Yeah,
you're a better player than you were in 83.
There's no more lyrics anymore in a progressive rock song. I don't know. It's kind of like Jonathan in that movie Rollerball.
I never saw Rollerball.
What? Oh my God!
I got it on VHS.
The original is fantastic.
James Caan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
God!
Sorry, was that loud?
Probably.
Oh.
For everyone.
Okay.
Hey, show them your girls.
So one thing that I really wanted to kind of point out, I'll be as quick as I can on this. The initial thing of Max the Axe started in 2008, 2009, when we very impromptu recorded Uptight Friday Night on Mitchell's tape, reel to reel, whatever. And at the time, I was in a band singing with Mike Mitchell on guitar and Dave Housen on bass.
Johnny.
And a drummer named Ross Begley, who was a great fucking drummer.
Sorry, what was his name? We didn't catch his name.
Ross Begley was his name. He was a great drummer, and it was Lost Johnny. And we just ended up getting together at Mitch's place, you know, because Mitch had a reel-to-reel tape, and we really just kind of made this quite quickly. And the recording that is on Status Electric of Uptight Friday Night is the actual recording from 2008, and it sounds great. Like that whole tape to tape situation was amazing, and it's just neat because it's the first thing that Dave has ever played on drums, because he's a bass player. I mean, he's a good drummer. He's a great bass player though, and like
it was the second time I played that song.
Yeah. And I did.
It's on
the second album it's ever been on.
And mine was and my whole vocal thing was exactly the second take. I tried it once, I did it, and it's just neat that it actually has survived.
Ooh, $1 Trillion Threats
through that album, and then it ended
Harrison,
up being
how do you like that album?
And it's one of the better songs. I still think it's one of the better sounding songs on Status Electric. Just I think tape has a lot to do with it, and
Well,
so that's how.
What's our best record, Harrison?
Well, I haven't heard anything before Status Electric. I've only heard Status Electric and Oktoberfest Cheer. So I'm going to go with Status Electric.
Okay.
I listened to all of these this week. I listened to them all. And I was actually going to do a top 5 Max the Axe, but I'll do it later.
Hey, we'll put that up again. I told these guys about it, but they didn't believe it.
Oh, really? Here.
That, you dummy.
Okay. Upside down.
You know,
because you stole what's his face?
That's Raphael.
No,
it's Malaise. It's Malaise.
Yeah.
You know,
pre-Raphael.
We're very cultural. Actually.
Yeah, no, that actually, you know, we're gonna get into that stuff. So don't jump ahead too much.
Sorry.
But I did want to ask Harrison real quickly, because we were talking about Pygmy Blow Dart, I wanted to ask you if you are a Queens of the Stone Age fan, first of all.
Haven't heard anything by them.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
my B part of the
Let's
question
get
is,
on with that.
You're
was gonna-
joking. You're just
Not
messing
even
with us.
accidentally.
not even accidentally?
Not that I'm aware of.
You're just messing
Okay,
with us.
let's take some audience questions now.
Okay, well, we haven't got to the third track yet, but if you want to take an audience question, we sure can.
We haven't even played one yet.
We haven't even played one yet. Do you want to play a track?
Let's play a
Oh,
track and
God.
get some audience
Haven't I
questions.
heard this shit enough?
He's wearing a Grinch hat. You see his
Yeah,
Well, I
hat?
think
I'm sorry,
think-
I couldn't find my squid head. I don't know
Oh.
where it was.
that's cool, man. I like your
It's
hat,
the Grinch.
Okay, play the first one.
It's the
which
Grinch.
is Pygmy Blow Dart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
right.
It's
go.
yeah. Perfect representation.
Okay, so do you want to introduce this track?
This is a perfect representation as what my friend Mike Kudis, Max the Swinging Axe, has been working on for all these years. And this is just a great example of this simple metal, punk, rock and roll music that he creates. And I'm proud to have helped him make it happen.
Perfect.
Punk metal.
All right, this is Pygmy Blow Dart. This is
I hope
Pygmy
it's
Blow
not
Dart.
too
We'll be
racist.
back in 2.5 minutes.
That was a great
Load up.
intro.
That was a great intro.
Come on.
Blow Dart. Let's go.
You know I gotta get around. I gotta find around.
That's a great fucking tune, guys.
Thank
You
you.
know, I was
Yeah.
just saying, the background vocals, the round and round thing at the end, 100% Mike Mitchell's idea. We kind of tweaked it a little bit, like note wise, and it ended up being. I love it.
Yeah.
Dr. Dave and Mike Mitchell only on the background.
No, I didn't do any.
No, it was just me and Mike.
Was it?
And it's better for it.
It was just me and Mike. Yeah.
Exploratory thing.
Really interestingly, because of a conversation that I had with you guys earlier, Frankie Toms wants to know if there's been any talk.
Cornhole partner. Wait, that didn't come out right.
Frankie Toms would like to know if there's ever been any talk amongst the band about doing an acoustic version of any favorites.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck all that. Fuck that.
Wow. Well, that's kind of the opposite reaction that I expected.
Okay.
Acoustic. What the fuck?
Okay,
What a joke.
Take it easy.
Harrison,
Troll here.
I'm going to throw it to
You
you.
know what? I'm not against it.
See?
Okay, great. Harrison, I'm going to throw it to you. Let's start with one of your questions.
Take it easy, man.
First, I'm just going to make a brief comment on something Mike Mitchell said when he was introing the song. He used the word simple, and I don't like using the word simple when talking about Max's music, because I feel like that word has negative connotations when you talk about music. But it really is. I think the phrase brilliantly simple, simply brilliant comes to mind, because it's not simple as in its basic playing. It's simple as in, like, he's identified exactly what needs to be right to make a good song, and he's turned those up to 11 and focused and basically jettisoned the rest, focused on what needs to be right. And that's part of the reason why there's no bad songs on Status Electric.
Thank you. It's a famous quote.
Simplicity is beautiful. Like, I don't think it has a negative connotation. Like, simplicity is really just getting to where you want to be, and sort of doing away with all the other fuss. Like, I'm proud to call it simple. Like, I like it. That's what I strive for, because if we make things too complicated, we kind of get a mess.
Well, there's a fine division. Like, is it 3-chord rock? Yeah, it is. The verse is 2 chords and the chorus is 3 chords. So
That adds up to 5 chords, man.
really.
Well, the simple thing is kind of interesting because, okay, like if you ask somebody who's better, Dream Theater or AC/DC? Well,
Right.
AC/DC is nothing but simple, but they're better.
Oh, come on.
Like, that's really, like, I love Dream Theater. I'm a huge fan, but I will say until the cows come home that AC/DC does a better job of representing the music that they want than Dream Theater does, and everybody relates to it. Like, sometimes simple is best.
Simple is really is beautiful. It's nice. It's I'm not ashamed at all to be simple.
All right. Okay.
Unless we're talking about Simple Jack.
No. Okay. Well, where are we on the structure?
Well, you know what, Max?
And
You
the
said you wanted
progression.
to.
Well, there's the pressing.
Yeah,
and
like,
and
do we
there's
want
the
to?
mastering.
But we haven't even discussed the title track yet. Do we want to discuss, like, that? To me, is like, where the fuck did that come from?
Take it away, Max.
Yeah, tell us about, like, I know, and like Dave, he didn't even hear the title track until I made a video of it a while ago. So like, how did that track? Like, where did Oktoberfest Cheer come from?
That came out on Sunday. Thank you, Michael, for putting that out on Sunday, the last day of Oktoberfest. I sent it to everyone I knew at the Schwaben Club that day, and there was actually dancers from the Schwaben dancers in your video.
Right.
You said that you used all local, and I go, I know some of these people.
Yeah,
and that's great to have.
100%. I chose only footage from KW Oktoberfest.
Oh, okay. How it started?
Yeah.
This song is like starts out from music like long ago. 7 years old. 7 years later, I'm going, man, we got to record this. The song is 7 years old. Someone's going to copy it because they usually do.
Nobody would copy it. Nobody. Nobody can.
Anyway, we started getting along with it, and that's the first one that I thought that we would record because it doesn't want to get lost. And it's an anthem, and someone's going to buy it every year.
Yes, I agree. It'll be every October. We'll push it. And you know, when things start opening up next year, it'll be different. You guys will be able to play.
Opening up and pushing?
Yeah.
Where?
Push hard.
Where?
I don't know. That's up to you guys. I'm not a fucking agent.
Yeah, but fucking COVID decimated the whole KW live scene. So many places fucking died.
Oh, yeah.
Playing the Beat Goes On parking lot.
Anyone here who doesn't live in Kitchener, Waterloo, they don't know.
Hey, Michael Morwood is playing there.
3 or 4 major venues in this town are no longer.
Yeah.
And the live music scene in this town, literally, it's been cut.
It's been eviscerated.
Cut more than in half. It is not a good scene. Right?
No, you are right. All kidding aside, you are right.
Harrison, what do you think?
I will just before Harrison goes, I will say thank goodness Maxwell's has survived. But go ahead, Harrison.
Yeah, but I've talked to Soupy. They're not interested in the local music scene at all.
No, I know that, but at least it's
and
one
it's
thing.
A tin shit box that sounds like crap.
It's a very large box made of aluminum.
How many more things we
Okay,
gotta play?
so fuck me, right? Like, who cares what thing?
No,
Anyway.
I'm just saying, like, it's Maxwell's does nothing for local music.
No, I realize that, but I'm just
Well,
trying
no,
to
you have to
be a
give them
silver
money
lining.
up front, or you lose all your money if they don't come.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Let's throw it back to Harrison.
All right, this is going to be very appropriate for this juncture because it's about live music and Oktoberfest Cheer, the third track. I just want to ask, how much does your live performances influence how you record and write a song? Like, I'm just wondering if you've given any thought to how you might tackle Oktoberfest Cheer live, given that it's got, an accordion and a whole lot of accentuary sound effects.
That's a fucking great question.
Yeah.
I will let Eric handle the first part of it.
Oh boy.
I think there's a very, very clean continuity between the two of them.
Okay, one, if we ever played it live, there'd be no accordion. So that I'm just throwing that out there. That's one. Two, if I'm being perfectly honest, if we ever play that song live, I'm gonna sing it different.
You're gonna sing it different.
A little bit.
He sings it different every time. It's part of his chutzpah.
Yeah.
Really?
Ask John Travolta.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I do.
How would one get their hands on a recording of a different version of Oktoberfest Cheer?
Well, you would have had a whole recording of great songs.
You
would
got
have
it.
recorded
You
more
got
than
the
Randy
only one that is not.
at the boathouse. I still wish you would have
Hey,
recorded more.
hey!
than
I got
Randy.
news. Val is going to text me and tell me when I can pick up the flash drive of the extra videos and pictures at the boathouse.
I was just going to say, though, because it turns out I was looking at footage this week that was taken at the boathouse. That footage has shit audio. And I didn't think I had to film the show because everybody's like, oh, they got a pro here that's recording tonight. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. But I'm not coming down on you for it. And you're right. That was said, and it never happened.
But I will say for the record that video of Randy that I took, I believe Harrison agrees with me on this. It's a great little video for what it is. And if I had the 2020 hindsight of Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm, I would go back to the boathouse and I would get my charger and I would get my tripod and I would put the whole night on my phone.
Well, my personal opinion, yeah, that Randy is fine. I think we played about eight or nine songs better than that night.
If you remember, you told me specifically it was Randy you wanted me to record.
Yes, you're right, because you at the time
Really?
At the time you were only sounding like you were willing to record one song. Like,
well,
I mean,
really?
2020.
Like we weren't thinking that way.
2018, I had that was my old phone, and there was no way it could have recorded more than like a couple of tracks.
Yeah, I think you said something. Oh, I got room for one, and I'm okay. Well, Randy, then.
Yeah, that
okay,
was
well, there's some more stuff coming out, and I'll let you know. Next question.
Are you guys going to be playing live anytime soon?
Where? That would
No.
be nice.
I say no.
It is very.
Well, actually,
I'm
we're
telling
going to
you,
do
it's
something
super
for
hard.
you tonight. A little acoustic-y thing.
I'm not.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm hoping that we do that. But anyway, the truth is, there is not really places to play in this town, and I'm not even just talking to us. Like, Romeo Sex Fighter is a huge band in town of great musicians and good guys. They can't find a place to play because there's nobody.
They're the best cover band in town.
All those places, Starlight gone,
Chainsaw.
Boathouse.
Chainsaw gone,
Boathouse
Rhapsody gone from downtown. They all went away.
Chris Starr was right. Need to get the Boathouse. Yes, exactly.
Oh, the Boathouse.
Oh
would be
yeah,
great.
there's
yes.
a lease on it, and apparently Milton's. You could probably turn that into.
Yeah,
We were talking about that just before the show. The news has not hit Australia yet, but I predict that it will.
When you screw with autistic and service dogs,
Okay,
you're done.
that's it. Let's not go
Let's just be
political.
honest.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that tonight.
Okay, next question.
Yeah, so why don't we keep going, Harrison? You have been cut off too much tonight, so let's keep rolling with your question.
Fire him! Fire him!
Fire him!
Fire him!
Well, you mentioned there's nowhere to play in town. Have you considered playing like a proper show at Sausage Fest, maybe, and recording that?
Oh, we played
That's a
there
good
before. Didn't we
question.
jam there? Nah.
All four of us were at Sausage Fest this year.
Right, but you didn't have the
We
the
got some
instruments.
pictures.
That is not an impossibility.
We got some pictures.
We've jammed there, but it would be generator based, and the generator would be half as loud as the band, if not more. And it's,
No, not those
He's
little
right.
Hondas.
He's
I could
right.
be louder than that little Honda.
Yeah, you don't
Oh, you
have
can
to.
always be louder than anything.
She's got my
but,
little.
Everything
I'm
louder
dead.
than everything else.
It's going to be difficult for that to happen.
I
for
want
too
this.
many reasons. So, great
Ah!
question, Harrison. But
Great question,
I
Harrison.
don't know if that's going to be a possibility.
It's
in,
iffy.
in the near future.
Okay, next question.
And to follow that up, then, assuming that you do get to play live sometime in the future, what are the chances of us getting a live album, or at the very least a live EP?
Let me take this one. Let me take this one. I want to take this one for you, my friend from Australia.
Can you maybe step behind Dave so we can see you?
Yes. Okay.
Getting alive out of the
Here,
pit, Harrison.
Here, I'll just put my head
Getting
on the
alive
table.
out of the pit.
All right. I think we suck.
Oh,
All right.
shut the fuck up.
And
You're done.
Wrong answer.
I like to make records with these fellows. But live shows, none in the foreseeable future.
Well, because you got no more bands left.
There's no there.
Anyway.
It's tough now, but I know in the foreseeable future, no live shows.
Okay.
In the short-term future.
Hey, thanks, man. Hey, he likes you. Some guy likes you on the
That's
show.
Ralph from Ralph's Rock Shop out of New York.
You're handsome. He thinks you're fucking handsome.
He does.
Okay, guys, let's play another song.
You want to hear another song? Okay, so I think what we want to do is we want to save Oktoberfest Cheer for last. So let's play Thirsty and Miserable.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back in 2.
Did
Thirsty
you
and
have a
Miserable.
new thing for that?
This was
Sorry?
fun to record.
Oh, you've
by
never
the way.
seen this, actually. You guys have never seen this one before.
Yeah,
This was very fun to make up to record.
Listen to-
All right. Who wants to introduce it? Dave, you introduce Thirsty and Miserable.
Okay, so yeah, I guess it was Mike who came up with this idea. It wasn't a Black Flag song that I was familiar with, but he made me get to know the Lemmy version, and yeah, it's just a great tune.
Yeah, check out the Lemmy.
It suits us so well because you see, we're all beer addicts, and when we run out of beer, we become very miserable and we freak out. And so this song is from the heart because it's just a story about our sorry lives. And it's true. It's from
All right, so let's play the tune.
Right on.
We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Thanks,
Thirsty and
man.
Miserable, folks. Brand new video on the LeBrain Train.
Thanks. You're done.
Thirsty and miserable, you drop to the floor. You drink till you can't even see anymore. Thirsty and miserable, always wanting more. Thirsty and miserable, always wanting more. Yeah. My brother wants a ride to the liquor store. You pity him for what he wants it for. Thirsty and miserable, always wanting more. Thirsty and miserable, always wanting more. It's 1:30 and we're all getting nervous. There's no corner to two. There's not a night for the last of us. Thirsty and miserable, always wanting more. Thirsty and miserable, always wanting so raise up that beer.
There you go.
Hey,
He is
I
a
wore this
handsome
for you,
bastard.
Mike.
Oh, lovely.
Value Village score, like $5.
and Dave Haslam bought this for me last week because he's such a sweetheart.
And I got
Harrison.
later.
Hey, mothership.
I got
Yeah,
later
beauty.
hose. Hey,
That's a great fucking track.
later hose.
That's a great fucking track. And the fact that you guys had the photos of the I guess it's 1-inch tape. I found that intriguing, so I included those in the video. But you guys have discussed tape versus digital. I'm just kind of curious though, like working with tape, nobody does that anymore.
Not true.
No, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
know.
saying.
Yeah.
Bands on a higher level use tape, but a lot of guys that are on limited budgets, it's just easier to go digital. So first of all, kudos to you for going analog. But second of all, like, what are the challenges of recording on tape in 2020, in 2021?
Well, I don't think the challenges are any different. I
Well,
think,
getting the tape, and it's expensive.
other than tape is probably more expensive than it was 3 years ago, and it's going to get more expensive. And it's just, I mean, because it's not something that people are very. It's not a popular thing, so it becomes more expensive. But there is definitely, I mean, like I said, like Uptight Friday Night on Status Electric. That's 13 years old now. And if you really look at
13.
If you really listen to the sound of that,
That's electric.
the guitars and everything sound, and personally my vocals, I love the sound of Uptight Friday Night.
Yeah, it's really raw and dirty.
And it's very thick.
Yeah.
Now, Status Electric, 3/4 of it was recorded completely digital. And honestly, personally, I like the sound of that too. But it's way better on tape. Everything's better on tape.
But would it be fair to say that while everything sounds better on tape, everything's easier to do digitally?
1000%.
Okay.
I'm going down that road myself. I'm getting a new desktop computer, and I'm going to get something like Focusrite, and I'm going to do that.
Well, then I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to announce this right now. When you do get your new computer, you are obviously going to have to be back on the show as a solo artist on one of our famous list shows, on one of our famous Cinco de Listo shows.
I'll set him up he's just for one of the smartest guys I've ever known.
Right, doctor in 19th century American literature.
Really I'll figure it out. He needs to be on our little show of music nerds, because that's what he is.
Okay.
Especially any time that he can do a list of like death metal acts, anytime he
I'm
can
not
do.
that big into death metal.
Sorry,
I want some more
I'm
questions.
not that
from the
big into
audience.
death metal.
I heard he likes Transformers, though.
It's fuck Transformers. The stupidest concept ever.
Sorry, what was that?
Harrison poking the bear.
Poking the horn and
poking the Barrison.
We're not here talking about fucking Transformers, I'll tell you that.
That was one of Harrison's questions that he had written down.
No, I hadn't actually written it down.
Well, it's good ad-libbing.
Okay, come on, talk about the record now. Great.
Dude, okay, listen. We've been talking about the record, but we have other questions.
Okay.
And actually, some of these questions are more, and I apologize, but some of these are a little bit more Max-centric.
That's cool. Hey, Max.
But I did want to compliment you, Mike Kudus, Max the Axe, on your lyrics. Yeah, like I find a lot of your lyrics are... I find a lot of your lyrics are kind of conceptual. Like you do a lot of storytelling in your lyrics. Like, for example, My Daddy Was a Murdering Man.
No, that's not mine. That's not mine. That's a Sicky song.
Okay, well, I apologize. And Randy, for example, you do a lot of storytelling.
That was 70.
Randy's what, a brother who's a male stripper?
Right. But you guys do a lot of storytelling in your lyrics, and some of them are kind of science fiction-y. And like I'm listening to your first EP from '95, and you got a song about the internet in '95.
Yeah.
Did it suck? Because most songs about the internet from the 90s weren't too good.
No. This is the one. I'm talking about the song Hard Drive, and it's got a fucking flute solo.
It's got a saxophone solo too.
Yeah, like it's like talk about this is his first track on his first EP, and he comes out with a track with female lead vocals, saxophone and flute, and it's like this progressive thing with this screaming woman on it, and it's like fucking hell, out of the gates. But like
I gotta hear that.
I'll send it to you. But again, you're like a lot of your lyrics. It seems that you do like to do a lot of storytelling.
Yeah. Well, they say the best movies are chase movies, and they say the best out of those are capture movies.
Okay, I've never heard that before, but I take your word for it.
What are we talking about? Listen, we're too worried about our cameras here. How's that? How's that? Take it still right there.
I'm not even 100% sure what's going on now, so I'll just go to a simpler question. Question.
No. To return to you.
Sure.
Your question.
That's why he's here.
The ballad form, which is kind of the basis of not only the structure of most popular music with verses and repeated choruses or refrains, they typically are ballads that are designed to tell a story. It's only lately that the story has kind of fallen away, and it's notable that a song does tell a story. It used to be that songs always told stories. So he's an old-fashioned guy, this guy. Old-fashioned.
And I get the feeling he likes some science fiction in his life. I
Oh,
get that.
science friction, maybe.
Science friction. Okay. But just some simple questions here. Who is Pablo?
Pablo Escobar, hey, that's the most complicated riff I have ever written. There's like 18 different changes.
It's Pablo Escobar, by the way.
In one riff. And I wrote,
continuing the theme
I wrote
drugs.
the first verse when he was alive because I knew he was going to die. And then I wrote the second verse after and how he died.
Okay.
Last part. Squeeze on the trigger till your bullets are gone. Bleed on the trigger. That's what I want.
And secondly, what exactly is a bell jar party? And how did they steal all your shit?
Well, it ain't my shit. It was only a Walkman and a phone.
And a phone, because that's in the song.
That's my cousin, Ted Moore, singing that song.
Oh, he's your cousin.
I gave him a set of golf clubs for recording that track.
What?
The barter economy.
Why? It's a barter economy. Oh my god. What else did I have?
Real DIY shit.
Real DIY shit. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that was recorded at New Plastic Studios.
No one knows
you know
where
where
that
the guitar corner is now?
Oh yeah.
At Victorian Park.
Yeah.
Well, that was New Plastic Studios. That's where we recorded that.
Wow.
Jack Splat and I.
All right. Well, I'm gonna throw it back to.
And Ted Moore was the guy who did the Bon Jovi, the greatest Canadian Bon Jovi tribute in Canada.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did cruise ships and all that shit.
Isn't the greatest Canadian Bon Jovi tribute in Canada Phil X?
Yeah. Yeah.
He likes to post a lot of videos about himself.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Harrison, you got a question?
Let's throw it back to Harrison. Harrison.
Yeah. Scrutinize.
Yeah. I've yet to hear about Max the Axe original song, so it never occurred to me that you might do like a cover or anything. But Thirsty and Miserable came out so good. I was just wondering if maybe you'd given any thought to maybe other covers.
We've talked about the Undertones song. What was that Undertones song?
Beats me.
Well,
what is the Undertones' biggest hit?
I don't know. I guess I got to Google the Undertones just a moment.
Okay, well, I can tell you this. There hasn't been a lot of cover stuff. Right from the beginning, when I personally joined and Dave personally joined behind the kit, we kind of started right off with Max songs. We never, I think we played Sweet Leaf a few times.
Really?
Yeah, no,
I don't remember that.
No, you do. You should remember it. I remember it because it was the only thing I sang for a while.
Oh,
we played Sweet Leaf, and we also played a Ramon song called
I Don't Care.
I Don't Care. That's it. So there's been
well,
but other than that,
we did.
It's been pretty
we
much
did Sex
Max's
Pistols
baby.
with Mitch. Sex Pistols, a couple more Ramones.
Pretty vacant.
oh, that's a good tune.
We played a little bit of that.
I've played that 1,000 times
But-
with Nancy Fisher.
But to answer your question,
Right.
Harrison, it's really been since the four of us got together, and you think of it, it's a little weird. Mike Mitchell playing bass, and he's a guitar player. Dave Haslam playing drums, and he's a bass player. Like, we literally pretty much started right off with Max the Axe original songs and just went from there. So I mean, the cover thing just kind of, really, it came out of nowhere. But we did play that song live 5 or 6 times.
Hey.
And I fucking loved singing that song live. So that's why we all kind of liked how it went. So that's why it became something to record, because it went so well. Yeah.
So I know you have a track that an original that you've been wanting to record. Are you able to discuss this this original that you
Iron
have?
Cross?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you able to tell us anything?
It's I ought to just lay a heavy guitar track over all of that.
I think it's one of the better songs that he's written. And
Actually, we saw it tonight with a dog sighting.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
true.
real.
That needs to be a video that gets shared. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But anyway, the song Iron Cross is actually one of the best things that he's written. I guarantee, because I know Harrison. Harrison would
You
love
love this.
the progression of that song. I really do.
Ozzy should be singing
And
this shit.
I once like during the Status Electric recordings, Iron Cross was recorded everything but the vocals. But it's just never came into focus because when I first presented Max with what I wanted, he didn't necessarily like it, and then it never really changed, and that's just how it went.
And so
But
now,
I tell you, Harrison would love that song. I just know what he likes.
and now we're going to talk about the new album, which is that song and remix of the last song, number 9 on Status Electric.
Which would be Scales of Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus the remix of Randy. Of course, we're going to play the original Randy and then the remix. And then Immortal, remember, one of Eric's favorite. I Feel the Sun mix.
Yeah, it is.
And so that's going to be like another 10 songs, just with a couple of remixes. And plus the EP.
So so would you call this like a deluxe edition reissue, or would you call it like
No, it's our next record.
No,
It's
yeah,
it-
it's going to take another 3 years to record or
Oh
something.
my god. Yeah.
But still, we're not as far away on Iron
He's
Cross
got a grin,
because
Tyler.
most of the song I think is already recorded, and it needs just a little bit of tinkering and the vocals.
Is there any more questions from the audience?
not in a while?
Is there no audience?
We got people watching, but they haven't been asking questions. But we're willing to, if you got a question, especially you, Chris,
let's bump
Anyone
that
who's
shit
watching,
up.
ask Dave. Ask
Bump
Dr.
that
Dave
shit up.
questions. I want to see Dr. Dave.
Okay,
ask-
I'm gonna. Do you want to do that? Do you want to quiz Dr. Dave?
Yes, please.
I've got one for Max just quickly
do.
before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
We'll let Dr. Dave have it easy for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And last time Max was on the show, that was back in I think May or April of this. It was a while ago, and you mentioned a lot of upcoming projects to LeBrain, and we've covered all of them today. You know, the remix of Randy, River Grand, Iron Cross, but the one that we haven't touched on yet, which I'm just interested in the progress on, if there's been progress, is the Droid, because that one sounded
my
very interesting.
Where did you get a hold of that?
He did.
You told him.
You talked about it on the show.
Sorry, it sounds interesting as in what you talked about sounds
Oh my
interesting,
God.
not the song. I didn't break into any.
And that is a total fucking Black Sabbath era epic. It's a total meta song. It's like
Meta.
what? How many minutes long is it?
I don't know what the
What,
fuck
what,
you're talking
9, 10
about.
minutes
What is this
long?
Droid song? I don't know
You
what
never-
he's talking about.
These
I
guys
literally
don't
don't
even
know
know.
what he's talking
Where'd you hear about
Hey,
that?
wait a second. Is it meta?
You
or
from you. He heard about it from you.
No.
Well, he didn't tell me.
Well,
He didn't tell.
answer it. What is the fucking droid?
The
Yeah.
Droid is the ultimate metal epic. And
I think Pickaxe might have something to say about that.
no. Actually, Mitch and I have played it a few times,
Well, I don't know what the fuck it
and
is.
he has it on the CD.
Well, then
Okay, well,
put that out.
I'm really glad that Harrison brought this up because I'm glad I found out about it. And I found it.
How did you get that
He's from
information?
Harrison. Like fuck.
He's not even in the same fucking hemisphere. How does he get this?
You're 7 hours early.
Oh, he's ahead of the time. That's
no,
why.
no, it's like 8 in the morning for him right now.
Really?
It is.
How old
It
are
is.
you right now, Harrison?
It's 9 in the morning now.
Oh, right. Daylight savings.
Yeah, because
Daylight
you
savings.
have daylight savings and we don't.
Because you don't have
currently.
Hey, we're gonna sell it to you soon. We're gonna sell it to you soon.
Don't they have agriculture in Australia?
We don't need it anymore. We're gonna sell it.
Do they have Harrison, do they have agriculture in Australia? Is the question from PhD Dr. Dave.
Okay, let's do
Oh,
this
yes,
again.
very much.
Okay, let's have another one.
Okay. Let me go to my list of questions. We've covered so much of this stuff already.
We work fast.
What, are you getting bored? Play another song.
You want to hear another song? We can certainly play the title track.
Bored. No, we're ready to answer.
Okay. I've actually gone, you guys have actually discussed pretty much everything on my list of questions. So maybe I'll address the elephant in the room as my next question. You asked for it, so let's have it. Uncle Meat, several months ago, you announced your retirement. What's up with that?
Well, very simple. Had some health issues. Drumming went away. Drumming went away.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. Singing. Okay. Well, part of the reason that I said that I'm done had a lot to do with the reaction of there's nowhere to play. So like there was never a situation where I'm like, oh, we might be able to. No, there's not really a situation. So let me just say that I'm not saying never, and I'm not necessarily as straight on saying I'm done as I was before. I've gradually gotten a little bit more hopeful, I guess. But I was serious when I said that I was done. And right now, I think I still am, because there's just not opportunities to do anything. But I'm going to tell you, and I even said that when I said I was done, I would love to do one more show that LeBrain records all of instead of one of them.
Record it professionally.
Talk about that, like we both knew the situation. So I'm not saying that that's a fault of yours, but we would handle it differently if we had one more show. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that had to be asked, obviously, because people have been asking me what's up with Eric, you know.
Yeah.
And simply because you did kind of announce it live on the air one week.
I know I did.
Yeah, he did. He did. He's like, I was like, well, Max is going to shit his pants when he sees this tomorrow. But
and this is the first that Dave is hearing of Meat's retirement.
Well,
no.
I
know.
I heard from that show though. He never told
right.
me. I heard from your show.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about it, like the day, like, literally the morning after the show that I said, "Hey, Colette."
You see that? You see that?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hi, Colette.
Your video just froze briefly.
You're awesome, Colette. Thank you very much for the compliment. Let's just say that, like, I'm not saying no. I'm saying that there.
Oh, we got an internet freeze up, but I'm sure we can solve this. Let me try this. And
why are we done?
Okay.
I would just say that right now it's just
crap.
And that's all I'm saying.
Something's unlikely.
It's unlikely, and that's just it's. There are a lot of logistics that are not in our favor for this to happen, and it's too bad. It's too bad. Like I said, I played a lot of music with Dave here. I've played most of my music with Dave on bass who's a way better bass player than he is. He's a great drummer. He's a fucking awesome bass player. And Dave and I have had a lot of great times on stage, and I love it. We've had the chance to open up for Teenage Head. We're opening up for Gordy Johnson from Baked Sugar. We're opening up from Come On, and some of the most amazing times of my life, but it's just not in the cards, it seems, right now. And by the way, I wanted to tell the story, especially with Max not here. The reason why he says, "Oh, Max is kind of a," this is the story. We opened up
Max
for
is kind of
Teenage
a what?
Head and
I
a
didn't
band
hear
called
that.
Dirty Jeans.
I didn't hear what you said.
Okay. We opened up for Teenage Head.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal.
Okay. Gotcha.
That line. The only reason why that line happened, I'll never forget it. We opened up for Teenage Head and a band called Dirty Jeans at the Starlight in Waterloo. I walked outside and it was Matt. I mean, it was not Maxie actually. It was a Helen Keller band. It was me and Dave and Mitchell, and Max decided to hang out with us. And I remember walking up to these girls that I had never met before, and I walk into the group, and as soon as I walk in with Max talking to the whole band of Dirty Jeans, all I hear is, "Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal." And I literally laughed out loud and started like making these jokes like,
the drummer from Dirty Jeans had her arm around me at the end of the night.
I mean, that was
that's good.
He was holding you up.
And everybody knows that line, that Max is kind of a big deal. And that's how that line became. So, just saying.
Well, you know, in one, I think it might be the video for Overload where Zach Britton is quoted as saying, "He's kind of a big deal."
That's it. That's it,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's where it came from.
That's where it
came from that line.
I was there.
And of course, I've been there when he's told waitresses at breakfast restaurants that he's kind of a big deal, and he'll be right back with a copy of the CD. There's only 3 copies of this left in the world, but he'll give you one.
3 yolks, 2 whites.
Yes.
3 yolks, 2 whites. They don't understand it.
They don't understand. They don't know how to make béarnaise sauce. Harrison, do you have any further questions? I'd like to circle back to Transformers.
Well, I'd better do my best to stop that then. So what does the future of Max the Axe look like then beyond what we've already discussed?
Beyond the next record, with the Randy remix, it's going to have the Randy, and then the remix, and then
the droid.
The droid.
I have to hear it first, though.
Iron Cross, I hope.
We both haven't heard it.
And Iron Cross.
He hasn't heard it.
Why, you want to put the droid on there? Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear the droid.
Yeah,
the last
song. 10 song. The
10
droid.
songs?
A new album.
I think
I'm in.
I think that you should put the live version of Randy on it too.
Well, okay,
Man, there was so many
you know,
better live
because we
versions
were
of it.
doing the different versions of Randy, because we got the mix. You are not going to believe the mix.
Yeah.
It's total electro. You know,
Electro.
No,
Electro.
no, let's not. Wait a minute. The mix we're talking about is Roby Banerjee, who is worldwide famous for being the engineer on Bridges to Babylon by the Rolling Stones. We're not talking about someone.
he's in Milwaukee tonight.
Wow.
With the Fix.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Fix. Wow.
that's true. He was doing the sound for the Fix and the signal.
Yeah, he's there tonight.
And the signal first for years before the lockdown. I'm just saying, like Roby Banerjee and there are 2 songs on Status Electric, River Glen and Sick of Living, that are personally my favorite vocal songs on the album.
Because he recorded through 2 vocal mic.
Yeah, Roby
for both of songs.
Roby
River Glen
Banerjee
and Sick of Living
is a legend, and he really is. I mean, he's recorded Rancid, like he has he's recorded Rick Moranis. Like, I mean, like it's everything on, and those two songs on Stabs Electric.
Now,
my favorite vocal. My favorite.
Did our master Hills Walter from
yeah. Oh yeah.
The Fog.
I'm just saying that personally for vocals, the Sick of Living and the River Grand on Status Electric are the two best vocals I've ever been recorded on in my life.
And the interesting thing,
perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. One of the first times that when I heard it back, and Mike knows very well that I am very critical of my own voice. I remember when he played both of those back, I went, that's fucking perfect. And I never even altered what he did.
I concur.
Just saying, I really like Roby Banerjee, and I hope that Randy mix is quite interesting.
Yes.
And I just want to tell Harrison, because he hasn't heard it, but there's another version of River Grand on $1 Trillion Threats with a different lead singer, Terry.
Yeah, he's a good singer too.
And
different than me, but he's good.
Two totally different approaches to the song.
Totally.
Completely different. And I kind of wanted to ask Meat about his very different take on River Grand at some point.
I just remember hearing it, and when we first jammed it, I made, like the same thing I always do. I listened to it 10 times in a row, and I got it in my head, and then it just became what I did.
You just went for it.
Yeah, and I just went for it.
No.
And it's a very vocal-centric song. So, like,
yes, it is.
It really is. Like, I mean, it starts with a little bloom, bloom, and then I go into nothing but vocal melody. And I mean, that song was a challenge. And I liked that Roby was there to let me to like make that song even better than what I was doing it before. So that's cool.
Are those remixes done? Are they in the can?
What are
you talking about?
The remixes that you're talking about for the next record.
I'm not talking about remixes. This is a follow-up to what I was talking about. Oh, I'm sorry.
One is half done.
One is half done. So you've got a quarter of the work done on the remixes. But you're getting there.
25%.
25%.
15% THC.
Nice math, Michael Adano.
Thank
Fred
you.
Reznor is ignoring our emails.
Atticus Ross has blocked you.
Hey, Max the Axe is just inches away from being Chuck Norris approved.
Well, fuck
Okay.
him.
I look forward to
I don't want that.
Fuck Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks, tonight.
Right in the bazonga.
Well, about the remixes, you mentioned Sick of Living was going to be on the new record, right, as a remix.
What?
He's
No,
frozen.
he didn't. He said,
Frozen in time.
It's the first time he's been frozen.
Sorry, no, Scales of Justice. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
That song lasts forever.
I miss you. Can you repeat that?
I miss you.
Because we had a little audio issue. Please.
I gotta pee.
Harrison was just asking about the tracks that are being remixed. It's going to be Scales of Justice and Randy.
No. Scales of Justice and Randy, yeah.
Yeah. So on the topic of Scales of Justice, Dave Haslam actually preempted me by saying it goes on forever. I do think that as a closer, it's a bit long. So I wonder if it's possible in the remixing process to cut it down a bit, because it's got 3 of those like Zeppish guitar breakdowns. And I think that,
Has it got 3?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe it has 3 of like this same guitar breakdown.
Okay. Again, Harrison,
we'll get her down.
Great question. And I will go on record saying this is my favorite Harrison time of my life, because he has asked great questions.
So
all
handsome.
night. I gotta say,
And he's absolutely correct about this.
he's gonna.
I'm the drummer, I know.
See,
It's like, what?
Scales of Justice.
Again?
Scales of Justice could have been 79 minutes long, because he never seems to stop the one section.
I love that.
He loves it so much that we played it 11 minutes. We've played it 9 minutes. We've played it 7 minutes.
17 minutes.
The version on the album, he even angered everybody in the band by how long he put it. But then, I mean, at the time, like, we have to just go along with what he's done. But you are so right. Like Scales of Justice was too long in the recording, and sometimes became way too long. Whatever.
Well, so we're gonna re-record that, and we're gonna bump it up like Aerosmith style.
I would like to say if these fellows want to record it at my place, I'd like to redo it, and I'd like to just get more to the point.
Yeah.
Maybe shave a bit of time off it.
Yeah.
And simplify it some and really just like get to the heart of it.
Good Chicago sound.
And maybe get some more basic tone, like better tone. But you know, and just get to the real heart of the song and get in and out a little quicker than we did before.
Right on. Okay,
sounds like everybody's in agreement.
I would like to
next question.
facilitate that.
Yeah, in its current state, it's not a bad song, but it just doesn't work as an album closer.
No, I'd like to redo it. I think I like.
No, I agree.
Kudus is a great song maker.
Yeah,
and but some of the stuff on Status Electric, it was done like too, you know, I say in quotes, professional style, right? And I think
he likes the more raw.
I like to really I like to record things just a bit more raw and to the point, and just like, hey, let's play this thing beginning to end. No minimize overdubs, punch-ins, all that sort of stuff, and like, can we just kick it out and get in and out?
Okay.
And I think I'd really like to take another shot at that one.
Okay, thank you, man.
It's sometimes difficult to edit your own stuff because you don't have an external. Like, this is why writers need editors, even really good writers, and you can tell when a really good writer all of a sudden gets so big that they don't need an edit. They don't use an editor anymore, and it's like, oh fuck, man! Like, there's 400 pages here that can go into the dumpster. It's the same thing with music. Like, half the producer's job is almost editing, not just recording, but the song itself. So,
we'll said, see. Dave.
That is a PhD answer.
Yeah,
and Kudus, as much as I like to bust his balls, he has really great songs.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yes.
You know, and I think I understand them, and I like recording them and playing on them, and but I really like to get to the heart of the matter as fast as I can. I just think the results are better, you know, because it's rock and roll music we're after here, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to fuss too much with it. You want to know it, get into it, really love the experience of playing it, get that on your tape, and that's what you put out. I think that's the nicest sounding record, in my opinion.
Okay, great.
I still can't believe it. Man, Harrison gets it all. And I mean, not that LeBrain doesn't, but
Harrison's perspective is more unique than mine.
No, he gets it more. He just gets it. Like I said, I've been on the show with Harrison many times. This is my favorite.
Hey, I want another song.
Because his question.
You want a what?
Perfect.
Another song.
You want to play another song? I kind of want to play one tune that Meat hates.
I thought I thought you were going to quiz me.
I was going to ask you something. I wasn't going to quiz you, but I was going to ask you something.
Ask it.
Okay. Go for it.
I remember several years ago, you and I had a discussion about video games that emulate musical instruments, which you were fucking adamantly hateful of.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
Guitar Hero, Rock Band. You were like adamantly so hateful of those, almost as much
gateway, it's okay.
Hey, I'll tell
you.
you.
So you've softened your stance, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Because you used to be Transformers level hate.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not here to talk about Transformers. Didn't I tell you that?
Or Guitar Hero. It's just I guess if you work backwards from, okay, I've been playing guitar for badly for 35 years. It's like going to Guitar Hero. It's like this really doesn't even come close to approximating it, you know?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. How about Silversmith?
What?
You know, they play the colored strings. Silversmith, Rocksmith.
Oh yeah.
Oh, those, yeah.
That's a different game.
Those are great strings.
That's
By the way,
Oh.
all those colored strings. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, it's
okay.
not a game anymore. It's learning how to play.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right, man. That there was a
Yeah,
game out
like-
there that actually teaches you how to play guitar.
Silversmith.
The technology
That's-
has advanced. The technology is advanced.
That's cool. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
it's not just playing it. You're
That's
playing.
That's neat.
Well, I wanted to do something tonight, and I didn't discuss this with Harrison. If Harrison wants to participate, he's more than welcome. But I wanted to do my Cinco de Listo top 5 Max the Axe.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
All right.
You want to hear my Cinco de Listo Max the Axe top
Yeah.
5? All right.
Yeah.
Here's my Cinco de Listo Max the Axe top 5.
You got my fingers in a fishbowl. Cinco de Listo. The pentagram made of crystal. Cinco de Listo. Got my bones left in a pistol. Cinco de Listo. One bullet shy of a pistol. Cinco de Listo. Cinco de Listo. Cinco de Listo. Cinco de Listo.
That's the awesome T-Bone who made that. My number 5, Max.
T-Bone.
I love T-Bone. My number 5
yeah.
Max the Axe comes from this album right here, self-titled Max the Axe, track called I Don't Advocate Drugs.
We
Killer.
played that song many times, and it's a fun one.
Killer.
Everyone
Max, who's
loves
the lead singer on this track?
Mickey Straight.
Make you straight. And by
Love
the way,
Mickey Straight.
at some
No.
point, I am going to make sure you have a copy of Mickey Straight playing that song live in Vancouver, and you will play that on the show, and you will love it. Just
Oh yeah, I love
put
Mickey
it out
Straight.
there.
Number 4 from the Overload
Really?
record. Title track, Overload. Very unique. That build up at the beginning is half
Wow.
of the
Wow.
song.
It is so hard. I couldn't even begin to teach a drummer or a bass player
That's one of the songs.
that timing anymore.
That's one of the older songs that we've talked about resurrecting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm in.
The timing is so bizarre.
Number 3 from this album. It would be the 622-minute Scales of Justice. I think it's fucking brilliant. Yes, I think it can be trimmed by maybe a good solid 60 seconds.
Do you remember what the song is about?
Do you want to tell the audience?
I will be very quickly.
Yeah.
My roommate at the time, I asked him to tell me a story on the way to a concert while he was in a limo. And he texted me during that, and it was a story from Ernie Norwood, who Tom Norwood's brother, which he talked about. A guy had 2 poisonous snakes.
Two,
He
not
had,
one.
he had 2 poisonous snakes. The one poisonous snake bit the other in the head, and so he had to find a way he tried to put a Band-Aid on the one snake that got bit, and he got bit by the other snake, and then he went to the hospital. So he told me the story, and that's what the song is about.
Only a fool owns a deadly snake, let alone 2.
Let alone 2. And and elastoplast thing, you know.
No.
I mean, it's all about that. So
No,
that's
you
cool.
guys aren't
Elastoplast
getting this.
travel.
I go, Eric, the song's about mano a mano, about the 3 greatest conflicts of all time, man against man, man against nature, man against himself. But how about some some liveliness. He goes, it's about snakes.
He is so true. I showed up at a jam and he triumphed.
You
his
are,
song,
Chris.
And I
You
literally
are.
said, "No,
It's
the
about
song's about snakes. The song's about snakes."
It's about snakes.
And then we did it.
I want man against man.
You
Well,
just concretized the metaphor, man.
Let's move on to my number 2 Maxiax track, which is the brand new original Pygmy Blow Dart from the Oktoberfest Cheer EP. And my number 1 Maxiax track of all time, the extremely popular, universally, God's on the Radio from Status Electric.
Everyone
That
loves it.
is
Yep.
universal.
I
Everybody
agree.
loves that song.
I agree.
It's the greatest thing I've ever been a part of. I don't even understand why the lyrics worked. And the true story is I wrote a lot of those lyrics and then put them away because I thought they were stupid. And 2 months later, I went
they're
back
still
to it.
stupid.
And exactly 2 months later, I went,
But in a good way.
They're good. They're good because they're stupid.
They're good because they're
And
stupid.
then it just seemed to it. That's
the fine line.
It's the best thing I've ever been a part of musically.
It's the fine
Really?
line.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I have to concur with him.
Concur. Do you concur? Harrison, concur.
Not great.
And I remember driving to Sausage Fest with you, which probably would have been summer of 2018, I guess.
Yeah.
And you're telling me about this song. You're kind of not you were excited about it, but you were kind of unsure about it. But you're like, there's this song that I wrote, and it just kind of keeps on going. You gotta. And I was like, well, that sounds interesting. And then when the fucking CD ended up in my hands, I'm like, there's that song, the You Gotta song. And I sent it to everybody. And everybody, as you know, loved God's on the Radio. So I think we should probably play God's on the Radio.
You are so right about the way that went. I remember absolutely 100%. We were driving up to Sausage Fest. Yeah. We probably had just stopped and smoked a bowl in Arthur.
Yeah.
We usually do. And I said, listen, I want you to hear this. I know it's a little repetitive or whatever. I want to know your opinion. And I remember you just instantly going, this is great. And I'm like, I had to be a little weird because you like everything. So I have to be a little like, but I liked how you reacted to it. Like you wanted to hear it again. And yeah, like I said,
yeah, let's do it.
That's my favorite thing I've been a part of.
So I understand where you're coming from when you say I like everything, because I know that I've been overly generous and over enthusiastic about things, and then my opinions kind of cool over time. Yeah. Sometimes. But let's not forget Dave D-Funk, whatever the fuck his name was, who thinks I'm an asshole critic because I didn't like one King's X song.
What? Wait, which King's X song?
Junior's Gone Wild from the Bill
Come
and
on,
Ted
guys.
soundtrack.
Oh, well,
let's not digress.
It's real, but it's like it's
I wrote a 3. Like I remember a few years ago I did that King's X series. I reviewed everything. I gave that particular song 3 out of 5 stars. And this fucking this hip hop rap producer comments on my things saying critics are the absolute worst. I hate it when people say, "Oh, this section of the song should be shorter, and this section of the song should be louder, or the bass should be." And I'm just like, who in the fuck shitting your cornflakes? I never said a damn thing like that about the song. And like my review isn't even all that critical. It's just that in the grand scheme of all King's X, Junior's Gone Wild is about sitting in the middle for me.
Not even.
That's it. Yeah. Anyway, so this guy lost his shit on me for a 3 out of 5 King's X review.
Yeah, that's petty.
It is. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, then later on, you joined a podcast with the great Martin Popoff about King's X.
That's
so
right.
That guy can fuck off.
Well, actually, that happened before that.
I'm just saying. I mean,
yeah.
Come on, man. You know your shit.
Come on, play another song.
Yeah, so we just talked about
proven by being on a podcast.
Play King's
another
X.
guy that we all
play another song. Max.
I wish I could play King's X, Dave, but that would set off all kinds of
I
copyright
know,
shit.
I know.
But we do
You
want
know
to play
what,
Gods on
guys?
the Radio. We
I know
100% want to play your best tune, Gods on the Radio. Harrison, before I play it, I would like you to introduce this song. Just tell us why you like it. Tell us why you like Gods on the Radio.
Meat really shows off his vocal range on the chorus, and although a lot of Max the Axe songs are really simple, when he does dabble in something a bit more, I'm not sure how I'd word this, but like, I guess I'd say sophisticated, like putting an effect on the vocals, or the accordion or something. It generally comes out good, even though he generally sticks to the basics. So yeah, great, one of many great songs on Status Electric.
Yep, check out the lead vocal. So this is Gods on the Radio. We'll be back in a couple of minutes to finish off our chat with Max and the band.
Fuck off! Gods on the radio. You got Buddha on the audio. Scott Bale on the telephone. Dan Rather at Presidio and putting all the knowledge in the same game. Mark on the stereo. You got rum in your Cheerio. Lift up from the get-go. Grab another spoon. It's the most important meal of the day. You gotta. You gotta. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up God's on the radio with the world in his video. Phil Collins in the studio. Phil Collins in the studio. Mark on the stereo. You got Drambuie in your Cheerio. No better way to let it go. Grab another spoon. It's the most important meal of the day. You gotta. You gotta. You gotta. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up louder. You gotta. I gotta. We gotta. Don't you know?
Don't you know we gotta? That's a great fucking tune, boys.
Yeah, man.
Great tune.
It's
Great
my
tune.
favorite as well.
Really?
Universal, man.
Well, that song is truly about Trump. That's what it came out as. Like God's on the radio. And I'm going to throw this out there.
Thanks.
Now apostrophes mean something. And I've had people say, why doesn't it say God is
on the radio?
That's not what the lyric is. It's God's on the radio as a plural. like
Well,
like politicians on the radio
Well-
wouldn't have a grammar.
Actually, that pulled a phone call from Eric one day about gods and the apostrophe.
We actually did have a phone call about that. I'm like, no, there's no apostrophe. It's like
And I'm the grammar Nazi.
it's
Dr. Dave.
typewriter. If you say typewriters on the radio, there is no apostrophe. That's
Right.
why I wrote it that way. That's why it's gods on the radio and no apostrophe.
It's not a possessive, it's a plural.
Exactly.
Is that correct, Dave? Did I get that right?
And is that not kind of making sense with the Trump thing? That's
Yes,
why the whole thing was
Trump!
Dan Rather at Presidio and put another notch in the fame game.
Fame.
It's all
Fame.
about
What is
the,
fame?
It's all about the
FEI.
bullshit. I mean, that's
Fame
by
game.
far
Well, fakery is part of it.
it's
Fucking
by far
fuck
my
off with
favorite
my
thing
beard.
that I've been a part of, just because I think the lyrics were exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I will give a shout out to a person named Chris
It's all they ever
Alderton.
wanted.
Chris Alderton did. He was at a jam.
I remember that.
And he suggested, because I was doing a bunch of things, radio, audio, blah blah blah, Scott Baio, and he out of nowhere says, "What about Phil Collins? Studio."
That was Alderton.
Oh, 100% old.
Well, I'll tell you.
100% old.
I didn't know that.
100%. I went, oh, that's a great idea.
I didn't know that.
So in the song, I said, Sue, Sue Studio. And live, I used to go, oh, just to kind of mimic
Accent.
the song. But
Well,
I'm
funny
like,
enough,
Oh, okay, let's talk about the rest of the record.
I just wanted to
The
tell you.
releases, the presses, and
I just wanted to tell you real quick. Chris Alderton sends his best. Unfortunately, he was working tonight. He works all nights. I did try to get Chris Alderton on tonight to say hello. Same with Michael Morwood, your stunt double, Michael Morwood. I tried to get him on tonight, but he is unfortunately working at The Beat Goes On, where 3 of our people here tonight have actually worked there.
I thought you weren't allowed to say that name.
Oh, who gives a fuck anymore?
Oh, it was only one summer.
Right, but I do remember walking in and you being there.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's it
wasn't
selling?
very good.
How's Oktoberfest Cheer selling?
selling. I'm giving it away. The postman comes by. And I give him a copy. And the next day I go, how's that a copy? He goes, thirsty. That's what he said. Max, thirsty.
Well, if anybody wants to buy any of the music that they've heard tonight, get in touch with me. I will put you in touch with Max, and we will sell you a CD. I guarantee you that if you buy either Status Electric or Oktoberfest Cheer off of them, you will not
There's
regret.
3 copies of Trillion left.
We obviously have to thank you for
all the great everything.
This stuff, and we got to thank everybody. JT Snow, Lana,
Kevin
Harrison,
Simister,
of course, yourself,
Cauliflower cheese.
Aaron, all the people that
fucking Frank
that did a review.
Frank
of the album.
Furter.
Thank you very much.
No, Frank, my cornhole partner.
Cornhole.
That's not what it means.
He's a
Well,
partner.
I'm trying to speak while these idiots are talking.
Right.
Thank you very much for all these people doing the reviews. I really appreciate it very much. And some of you are wrong. It's not as good as what some of you say, but I love you all for it.
Thank you. Good night. I love you all. Max, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about the reviews real quick as well.
Yes.
So tell us what did you want to tell us about the reviews?
Oh, well, there's one that I didn't post. The one guy that said, we had a Max the Axe Day because I hate Oktoberfest. What about that review?
Oh, I hate Oktoberfest.
I don't remember that. Do you remember that one, Harrison?
No, I don't recall reading
Somebody
that.
saying that they hate Oktoberfest. I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
I hate Oktoberfest.
I do too. I'm not a fan.
It's just ride check.
By the way, I didn't say Kevin.
Yeah,
So
Kevin
I-
Sinister. And just a real quick shout out to Kevin. He wanted to do this interview tonight, but he was unable to do it for a family obligation. So I just want to give Kevin a big shout out, and also a big thanks to Harrison for stepping up to the plate this week.
Harrison.
Harrison has been fucking
Harrison.
awesome.
What time is it there?
9:45 in the morning.
Really?
You're not drinking coffee?
No.
How do you live that way? He's drinking coffee and it's like fucking 8:45. I don't know how you do that, man.
It's not a good idea.
This is a good
No,
point.
it's not.
You say really is an interesting point.
I mean, coffee is essential.
Okay.
I
So
don't understand.
I
people who don't
personally am
drink
saying
coffee.
good night.
Ow.
Harrison, you have been fucking awesome tonight, and thank you very
Yes.
much.
Well,
Is it
Thank you.
I
over?
love everything that you have
Is
to
it
say,
over?
And I loved all your questions.
No,
and,
we're not
and
quite
LeBrain,
All the questions aren't done.
and LeBrain is 100%. You're the man. Thank you.
Wait, hold on.
What?
I want you to just before we go, I want you to introduce the last of the Oktoberfest Cheer tracks that we're going to play tonight, which is the title track. I want to play that one still before we go. So I want you to introduce it, because I remember you telling me that you hate this song.
It's cluttered.
Hate is a strong word. I'm not a fan of how it sounds.
I don't care about
I like
these
the
guys
idea
and their
of it.
feeling.
It was hard to. It was hard
It's very
to.
alt right of you.
It was hard to hear after I recorded my own
Look
vocals.
at this.
I didn't like it.
I'm sorry, man. They've hijacked your answer.
What
My
I don't like
answer-
is that it sounds
My
like a different
answer.
drum
My
set.
answer. Here. Okay. My answer. The music of Oktoberfest Cheer. Mike Mitchell and Dave Haslam is fucking spot on. I heard it right from the beginning when it was just Mitchell and Haslam, and it was killer. And now what Maxie Axe added to it wasn't the wrong part. I believe the wrong part was what I did vocally. I don't love the song.
You know,
I'm getting vertigo and I'm getting dizzy here. But let's
you
play.
know what? You got to step back from the picture. And
Hey,
take it.
hey, thank you, Australia, dude. Yeah,
You're welcome.
nice meeting you, buddy.
Yeah.
You got to step back from the picture and take a good look at everything.
All right. Well, while
And
you guys
Alan-
get your camera in
Alan was
order,
Great.
I'm going to play Oktoberfest Cheer. We'll be back to end
Let's
the
do that.
interview. Here's Oktoberfest Cheer. Great track. I disagree with Uncle Meat on that. That's a great track.
I do.
Hey Harrison, did you see what I did with your name?
Yeah.
Oh, you can do that. You can change mine. Okay.
Yeah, apparently I can. I just noticed that now. But in honor of Mike Mitchell, you are now Australia guy.
And I have no idea. I bet you Rob Daniels is not watching. But I have one thing for Rob Daniels. Watch Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid finally.
Okay, so question. When
Yeah.
you did the 5 scary movies for Halloween,
Yeah.
who was the guy who put Ravenous on his
Whatever.
list?
Believe that was
Daniels.
Rob Daniels.
Rob Daniels.
That movie isn't scary. It's fucking hilarious. All the
Well,
way through.
I believe he probably mentioned that. But that it wasn't which movies are scariest. It was our favorites.
Oh, okay. Well, good fucking pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that movie.
And by the way, because I'm going to take off, so I want to say maybe one of those days I'm going to go to there Australia, give me one of them there kangaroos, and go
sleep in its pouch.
And maybe I'll even go to the Outback, whatever the fuck that is.
More than half the country, really.
More than half the country. There you go.
2% of the interior.
I don't know what it is. All I know is I want to go there.
So now that Max the Axe has been canceled in Australia,
maybe what? Maybe I can catch me one of them there marsupials.
You are a marsupial.
wow. Are there any other stereotypes we'd like to throw at Australia while we can? Like, do we want to talk about boomerangs?
Shrimp and barbecues.
Right.
Shrimps and yeah. Throw another shrimp on the barbie.
Or the thing about the toilets flushing in the opposite direction.
Oh, is that true?
I haven't heard that one.
Well, you haven't.
Hey, apparently, because you're on the other hemisphere of the Earth, your toilets flush in the opposite direction of ours. That should be something next time you have him on the show.
Let's test it.
We should do a live comparison.
Let's fucking do that.
Like some people's toilets swirl clockwise,
And at the equator, they don't swirl at all.
Thanks, guys. We've had a great night.
Max's
they swirl counterclockwise. I think this would be a fun thing to do.
Thanks, man.
Well, boys, I just want to thank you so much.
You too.
I want to. I didn't even get a chance to say. Holy crap, Harrison! Wow. Now that was a show.
Yes.
I'm kind of like, what just happened?
A good show. That's what.
It was a good show, you think?
Oh yeah, great.
I mean, it was never on the rails.
I mean, did we expect it to?
No. The only time it was on the rails was the occasions where Meat was talking, and some of the occasions where Dr. Dave was talking.
Well, I got through all the questions basically, except for one that I thought of during the last song, but that's not an important one.
That's all right. I'm glad that we answered all the questions. I hope we sold a CD or two. I'm exhausted. Those guys really keep you on your toes. You cannot keep up with their thought processes. Anyway, thank you, Australia guy. I think we've earned a new nickname tonight. Whew. Well, that is this week's episode. Next week, what do you say? Do you want to come back and we do this 1981 thing?
Yeah, I'm good for 1981.
All right, so we'll announce it now. Next Friday at 7:00, be here for the LeBrain Train. Harrison and I will be back. We will be discussing. Each of us are going to pick 3 albums from the year 1981, and I actually may change my picks because Deke already covered some of these on his list. So I have not decided my 3. I think you have decided your 3.
I might switch out one of them because one of them I don't have a good story about it, but Killers I do. So I might put in Killers just because I can talk a lot about it.
Cool.
And how it,
Spoiler alert, that album came out in 1981. But was
really?
Is he talking about Kiss Killers or Iron Maiden Killers? We'll have to find out next week. We don't know until we come back next week. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do an in-depth dive on 3 of our each of our favorite albums from 1981. This is sort of like a spiritual sequel to the 1980 show that I did last year with Deke and he did his own 1981 show on Scotch on the Rocks. We're going to do our own on the LeBrain Train.
Like everyone looks at 1980 and goes like, that was a really seminal year in like rock and metal. But I was looking at 1981, looking at what albums came out. There's a lot of good albums that came out in 91 as well.
Here's something interesting. A lot of people have Back in Black and Heaven and Hell as two of their best albums from 1980. Both of those bands put out follow-up albums in 81, For Those About to Rock and Mob Rules, which are generally considered inferior by some. But interestingly enough, the first two albums, Back in Black and Heaven and Hell, have a black palette for the cover art. The other two albums have a brown palette for the cover art. Very interesting. Just one of those things that OCD guys like me notice. Anyway, I guess I'll see you next week. Same bat time, same. Oh, wait. Want to do a threesome?
Rephrase, please.
Shall we invite Uncle Meat on for next week?
I think so.
Let's do it. So the three of us will be back next week. We're going to do the sequel to the 1980 show. We're going to do three of our favorite albums from 81, plus a little bit of world history. Enjoy the outro theme song as we head out. Harrison, do you want to plug your shit before we go?
Well, I'm not doing anything outside the ordinary. Outside of my regularly scheduled stuff at the moment. So
right, because you just finished Oktoberfest.
Yes, I shamelessly stole and pilfered for my own site.
Which is absolutely fine. All right, so business as usual at madmetalman.wordpress.com and business as normal at mikeladano.com. Thanks a lot, Harrison. Here's Thank you. Awesome theme video that has all of our smiling faces in it that I know we both love. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Ciao.
See you.
One-way ticket to anywhere and a glazed donut. To go. LeBrain Train.